Late Game Reviewer here, and welcome to my channel. This is Witcher, well, the first one, the Director's Cut Enhanced Edition from GOG. So, I decided to play the game because I heard it was really good. Now, I'm going to give my review, but I have to tell you first that I wanted to keep this for the end, but I gotta say this now. I really tried to love the game, to like it. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't think this is a good RPG, but overall, I kind of think it's a good game because of the price I got it for. I think I got it like for a super cheap price for like $10 for Witcher 1 and 2 or something, like the Enhanced Edition, like the one on GOG. There was one on Steam. Now, well, okay, let me start. Yeah, that's the first presentation, really good there, and it continues with the within the Kaer Morhen castle, which like they get attacked by two guys and all. So the starting cutscene and the ending cutscene, well, especially the ending cutscene, is freaking awesome. It's like it starts strong and it ends strong, but everything in between, personally, I think it's really weak. Like when you're reading a story or when you're looking, well, especially through a movie or cutscenes or even in movie, I mean games, there's supposed to be hooks, like something that tells you, you know what, this happens, this is really interesting, I want you to know more. And to me, it's like, wow, this is really interesting. I really want to know what's going on here. Yeah, that's the trader regarding the this Triga, and yeah, that's the princess and everything. You learn that throughout the the story in The Witcher. Unfortunately, like in between the start and the end, the hooks are there, but it's really weak. It's just enough to barely keep you going. But if someone wants a really awesome story, they're going to be really deceived in this, unfortunately. The only thing you know throughout, I would say, like the entire game for up to chapter 2 or 3 or something, well, through the middle of the game, like there's two guys that attack your castle, and they kind of succeeded, kind of. You don't know who they are. They appear to be strong, and like there's mystery, like it's there, like that's fine, but like you assume you're gonna get to know them later. It's a really simple storyline. Fortunately, yeah, can you imagine that's a woman? So let's start. So I would say to prove to you, but I don't have to prove to you, but I'm gonna show it to you in any other way. If you look at the dates of my loading games, you're gonna notice that it's sporadic. Like I start on the 5th of May of this year. I play on the 24th, and then I stop. Like I can't take this shit. Like this is like the immersion breaking. The immersion breaking in this game is just, it's really amazing. It's really high. Then a week later, I play for a couple of hours. And then I play here as well on the 6th or the 3rd, like a day later. I play a lot. On the 4th and then on 5th, I play a lot. That goes. I play a lot, like really a lot. There's a reason for that. Chapter 2 fucking sucks. Only because it's kind of a detective, and I think that really breaks it. That's where the game starts to lose the love for me. But then a day later I play, and then I can't take this shit anymore. I stop, and 2 weeks or so later I start playing again. It's like that. Then I cut, and a week later I play again. It's like that every single freaking time. I can't take it. I play for a couple of hours, and I get tired of it because of all the problems in the game. And finally I decided, like a couple of days ago, to just finish it. Like, I have to finish this. I really want to try Witcher 2. And I wanted to know if... I just wanted to complete the game. I'm not the kind of guy who just plays a game and then just puts it on the side, unfinished. I can't do that. It pisses me off. So, just for the sake of it, let's see here. Just gonna pick Swamp Cemetery. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick a field, play there. If I have to show you something, I got loads of cutscenes here, so... I mean, save games, so I'm gonna go everywhere. And... So the story is kind of good, but it needs a lot of work, though. But for their voice This is where it's weird. Like sometimes it's great, but other times it feels forced and mediocre at other time. Like Marigold and Dandelion, for example, are really great. You feel their emotion in them and all, but like this guy here, Geralt. I was gonna name him Geralt, but Geralt. Yeah, that's the name. That's how you pronounce it. He's kind of good, but it really depends. Most of the time, I personally think his voice sucks. So, whoop, wrong sword. Just gonna run around here, kill them. And others, they really just suck. Especially the what do you call them? The NPCs. A lot of NPCs, they just really suck. And there's one thing that I noticed, which they don't do up here, especially when you're in town. You know what? Let's go in town here. Okay. When you go into town, do you remember the game Neverwinter Night? There's one thing I loved about the game is the environmental sound. That was freaking amazing. You were in a city or a town, and you could actually hear this city, like all the environmental sounds. That was really great. In here, it's non-existent, or it's really low, like it's really weak. Whoa. Unfortunately, but there's a lot of things here that just balances out because of the environmental sounds. It's just a little thing that I noticed, and I'm going to tell you why I noticed this. Let me go into the town. I've done some research on the Aurora engine from BioWare. It looks like this is a heavily modified engine that they use from BioWare. They use 3ds Max for the environment, like for the city and all the textures, and it is custom textures. That's why the world is so rich and it's detailed and everything seems to be unique. You go from one city to another and it feels unique. Well, yes, now it's really unique because everything's burning, but that's not what I mean. Like, for example, you look at this like at this house here. I'm pretty sure that if you go to Vizima, for example, or like the swamp, oops, and the swamp over here, it should be well, anywhere else you're not going to see the same building. It's impossible. Everything is unique, and there's lots of shaders, there's lots of lighting going around. It's really cool. Like sometimes, I don't know if you're going to see it. Yeah, you're going to see it. Like, for example, like the things that you see on the lantern here, that's part of the engine. It's like really cool, like the particle effect and everything. It's really cool. That's what's really cool about the game as well. And unfortunately, because well, that's where it stops here, because you also got the NPCs lying around. There's not a lot here, I have to admit. Let me see. Get to the dike. Yeah, let's go to the dike here. Unfortunately, that's where it starts because, well, even though you gotta like there's a great sensation that when you go to a town, it's rich, it's detailed, everything feels unique. Oh, it's locked. Okay, it's really great because of that, but it stops there, unfortunately. Why am I here? Yeah. Anyways, like, this is the biggest immersion killer. You take this guy, for example, the Scoia'tael dwarf. You go around and you're going to find the same thing, like this one here. The paramedic, like the Scoia'tael elf, whatever thing you call him. It's a copycat of everything. Male, female, you see that guy over there? He's over there as well. They are all copy-pastes. And from what I got from the Enhanced Edition, it looks like there's a bit more model here. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a game that was made in 2007. Look! Twins! Great. No, it's not. You can't have sex with them. And there's another thing regarding the, like, I would say, like, the presentation is the sex. I really don't know. Beside the NPCs, that is really like a big immersion killer for me. I keep talking about the immersion here, but there's a good reason for that. Especially, why did that, what? Oh, okay. Especially regarding Where am I going? Especially regarding RPGs, I personally think it's really, really important for the immersion, because you may have a great story, but if the game design sucks, I'm sorry, buddy, but it's gonna like the immersion will be so bad that I'll just stop playing, and that's what happened in this game multiple times. It took me 2 months to complete the game, not because it's hard, just because it's freaking boring. And I don't know, it's a really weird thing going on here. And there's also a thing regarding sex. For some reason, your castle gets attacked by 2 guys, which seems to be freaking like really, really, really strong. You go to a castle, you get to get greeted by a king. Like, this is serious shit going on here. Like, there seems to be something going on regarding the Witchers, which are like kind of getting killed and destroyed and everything. And you think that having sex with every girl that you can is really good, either by prostitutes or if you get a chance by doing some deeds, and then you get to get paid back with sex. I don't know, man. Like, to me, this feels so unneeded. It looks like the game was made for teens, They're trying to discover what's a penis and everything, you know? Like, how do I use it? I don't know, man. Remove everything that's sexual or the sex. And, yeah, just let's go with the farewell. And it's still a great game. It's still, like, nothing changes. I know for a fact that in stories, sexual encounters, either romantic or erotic or just pure sex, is really... it's there, you know? I know that, well, this is a fantasy world, so I can't tell if in a fantasy world that happened, but I know that in medieval times, women were just objects. They were getting raped all the frickin' time. It was something common. It wasn't, like, uncommon or unusual. I know that for a fact. I don't see that here. I'm not looking for realism here. I'm just looking for something that's getting immersed, you know? Like, there's no... well, in the lore there is rape, but you don't see it, you don't feel it. There's nothing happening with the rape here. It's just, like, Geralt, or... yeah, well, I mean Geralt, and having sex with women. I just find it really unneeded, and that was, again, like an immersion killer. I know it may seem really stupid, but for me, that really break everything. Like, come on, this is really fucking... come on, man. Just stop it. And I just stopped playing the game. Serious. And for the quest, it's somewhat interesting, but unfortunately, I don't know if you're going to see it here, you're going to get some... oh, no, I don't. Okay, let's go back to the town. But there are some fetch quests. As in, go kill X... I would say just X monster like 10 times, or get I don't know, let's see here. What do I see that? Yes, Scimitar Jaw, for example. Get that 5 times, for example, and you're going to complete a contract. That is another immersion killer. That is a game design that is really old, and I really want to see it dead. Unfortunately, it's not. It's over here. It's still alive in like 2007. Can you imagine that? It's... wow, yeah, I'm strong because of the skills and the XP I got and everything. This is really weird because this is what really killed the vibe. Again, it added to the to the vibe killer here, and my love for the game just completely stopped. And like chapter 1 was all right. Like, I mean, you're really low level, you need the XP, and then later on, for some reason, I know you're a monster killer, like you're a monster slayer. That's really fine, but come on, man, just make it unique. Make something else out of, like, just do something else other than just trying to introduce, like, kill X monster X number of time and bring Y item to Z NPC, whatever, and get XP and like so on and so on. This is really stupid. I just really didn't like it, and I just stopped in chapter 3. I just didn't care anymore for the contracts, even though it was giving me XP. I couldn't take it anymore. I really didn't. Thankfully, when you talk about the quests, there are some choices, but that's where I would say that's where it starts. Like, that's where it stops. You do have some choices in the main quests, and the decisions follows you through the game, but that's where it's really that's where it stops. The quests, like I said before, are somewhat good. They need a lot of work. But it's good to have choices, but is it really needed in a game like this? I'm not really sure, because it's heavily focused on the story. But there is some replay value because of that, so that's a really good addition. I have really no problem with that. Let's try to go anywhere. Let's try to go elsewhere here. Yeah, the grass or plants or whatever you call here, it's really annoying because it gets in my way of the view here, unfortunately. And like, there's another thing going on here. Let me show you. If I go, whoops, in my journal, let's go to the. There's a lot of lores, there's a lot of books around which you can get the locations. You get some glossary here, the glossary, whatever how you call it in English. Yeah, I'm French, whatever. And you get some books and you get a lot of information. Really good read. Ingredients, formulas, everything is here. There's a lot of books so you can read. There's a lot. Oh man. You want to know how to play dice poker? Well, there might be something here to tell you. Yeah, tutorials. You see, drinking. That is really annoying because your screen switches words, like it waves around, and it's really annoying. I honestly didn't feel like I wanted to get to know the lore. Nothing interested me to know the lore. Like, there's something, I'm gonna keep saying something about Neverwinter Night, is that the books in there, they were interesting, and even though it wasn't forced on you, it was really interesting because, well, there's something going on, because in like Neverwinter Night, everything was, you had to read. There was no voiceovers, but here that's where it stops. Perhaps if there was like a voiceover for the lore, that would have been interesting. I think that would have been something good, I would say, to get interested into the lore. I guess. Like, there's voiceovers for the main quest, but that's where it stops. They should have done it with the lore when you read a book, for example. Personally, that's what I think. I think that would have really, I think that would really be like a total winner here regarding the lore. But it's not necessarily bad. Like, it's there, so for people who really love the Witcher lore, go ahead. It's right there. There's a lot of books. Unfortunately, they cost a lot of money. So yeah. And that's where it starts from my, well, not really a rant, but for example, the combat. You got two types of sword. You got a silver sword, and you got a steel sword. Like, the steel is for the humans, and the silver is for the monsters. Even though the combat, like you've seen, for example, I click, and if I time it right, well, too bad. They die really quick. But if I time it right, it's like a queued time event for some whatever reason. And because of that, this is where it's really weird, because the game tells me that there's a really big freedom here. And that's the message I get from the game. But then I get to the combat, which is really static and boring and really weird. Where am I? Okay. And yeah, I'll be able to do it with that. And click another time because my cursor changed to flaming sword. I get to do combos, and I get to do like more damage. But that's where the fun stops. It's really fun to choose what type of sword, and also what type of style that I have to use, like increase damage on opponents or increase the chance of hitting. Sometimes if I choose a fast style, I'm going to hit everyone, but I'm not going to do a lot of damage. And sometimes if I use strong style to certain opponents, I'm not going to do any damage at all. It's going to be too strong, and I'm not going to be able to hit them. So I got to choose the right group. And on top of that, if I go my skills, there's a lot of skills regarding that, like steel sword, strong, fast, and group. There's a lot of skills regarding that, like bleeding, There's more damage. There's the damage when I have less vitality. I had no choice, but I had to choose them because I had points left, so yeah. Same thing for the fast health, there's more pain and so on and so on. If it's not pain, it's going to be in group, which is going to be precise hit, for example. And it continues with the silver sword, same thing, you know. It's really weird. I personally didn't like it because of that. Let's see, yeah, you can gather some items and loot and everything. And for the skill, there's a really big killer here. This is another kill. Well, not a really big killer, but a big disappointment. This one, the art sign, that's what I used throughout the entire game, from from the prologue to the epilogue, including all the chapters. That's what I used mainly. This one is just, it's overpowered. You stun the enemies, you stun everything. Like, let me show you here. Let's see, the art sign, it's almost, I should have put more points in it, but I get to, if I'm not gonna, if I don't stun the enemy, I'm gonna knock him down, which is overpowered. Fortunately, it's only for one enemy, because if it was in a group, like in a 90 degrees, for example, it's probably gonna knock down everyone, but it's only gonna stun one enemy from what I got. Like, and the rest here, not useful, never used it. Like the Quen sign to like a protective shield so I can use my potions, not used at all. I know when to attack. I know when I'm going to get attacked in the game, so I use my potions before getting into a fight. The Yurden sign takes too much time for my trap, so it's not useful. The Igni sign, I forced myself to use another like sign, but personally I didn't feel like I was gonna, like I needed it. It's also underpowered personally. And the Axie sign, I never used that. Well, I did use it just to know what it was, and I didn't use it because I wasn't interested. It didn't kill the enemy. It really didn't help me or just kill the enemy. The Ard sign, I use it, bam, I kill the enemy. Even in a group of 5 enemies, for example, I use the Ard sign, boom, I'm going to use it on the strongest monster. I stun him, I kill him in one shot, then I move on to the other enemy. I just move on the room. And there's also another thing regarding the combat which is really weird. Everything that has anything to do with the dodge and the parry, it's done automatically. If that was done manually, that would be a really good thing regarding the combat. It would be a bit more dynamic, but unfortunately it's not. But all of those problems, like the NPCs, the same face over and over, the sex, which is really unneeded. Hey, where are the enemies? The skills, which are, a lot of them are just unneeded, and I really don't see the point of all of them except for the Ard sign. And the weak combat system, even though it's a good combat system, don't get me wrong, but it needs a lot of work. I don't get it. In my conclusion, I would say, like, this is a game which features a lot of game design which are, come on, let me go there, which breaks the immersion of the game. To me, it's really important because, I mean, you're going to play for a dozen hours, so, you know, it's kind of important that if you play a game for hours, you don't break the immersion. Kind of logic here. But if you want that, I mean, like, if you want me to play for a couple of hours, well, dozens of hours, you know, just immerse me and don't break it. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen here, but come on, how can you go wrong with $11 on Steam? I mean, it is $11. There's some replay value in here because I could play the game again, which is not my case because I don't think it's good enough for that, in my opinion. Like, I don't know how much I played here. $20, $30 or something? I'm not really sure. I think it's 20 hours or so. There's a lot of hours here, trust me. Oh, there it is. And, I'm still going to recommend it because of the cheap price. And even if you buy, man, you can get $45 for Witcher 3 and you get Witcher 1 and 2. So, yeah, I still recommend it. It's really not bad. It needs a lot of work. I'm pretty sure that if I look around, I'm gonna get some mods which could fix some things and like so on. There's also an like the adventure editor, which I have no clue what it is, but it's there. So I'm probably sure that you can probably create some adventures of your own. I guess I'm not even sure. I'm not even gonna look at it. And, well, that's it for the game. Leg Game Reviewer here, and just tell me your thoughts about The Witcher. Personally, I just don't think it's a good game. It's like, I played it because I forced myself to play it just because I wanted to play Witcher 2 and probably get Witcher 3. If you do love the game and you think I'm wrong because the game design is really awesome or something, just please tell me. Go in the comment section and talk to me about it. I really like to know why people love this game so much. I've seen in some YouTube channels that, I don't know, this is a really great game, and even though it featured some problems here and there, they really loved it. I still didn't understand why they loved it. So, anyways, Leg Game Reviewer here, and I'll see you next time.